For review, Indiana, Miami, Toronto, Chicago, Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Atlanta. Think about that list. Who do you bump off of it this year?
Indiana, unfortunately. Injury.
Used to be the Paul George
leg injury,
Lance Stevenson gone.
Allen's to Charlotte.
Yeah.
I just think that team is in a rebuilding mode for a year. Obviously having one of the best two-way players in the game in Paul George. I think that's really going to I know they went out and got Rodney Stuckey, C.J. Miles, but they're not the type of player that Paul George is. So
right.
I could see them going off. And quite frankly, I know Atlanta's been in the news lately, and I know they were exciting and they pushed Indiana. I could see them battling with Charlotte, Detroit for that 7th, 8th, 9th spot.
I'll tell you what, the team that's going to be surprise people this year is the Charlotte Bobcats, the Hornets now. I love what they did. I love the kid, Noah Vonleh from Indiana. I think the addition of Lance Stevenson, Al Jefferson for another year, I think they're really going to they got a chance of being in the top 4. If I had to bump a team, I might take the Hawks out of that equation. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I do. I think their coach is too good. I think they got too much veteran leadership.
I'm interested in seeing if Miami will be a team that's in the top 4 spots, or will they become a team that's fighting to even make the playoffs?
Yeah,
because Miami is a team. The culture's been the same for a long time. They strive on getting one of those first 4 spots.
I think New York is going to be a playoff team this year. I think Carmelo Anthony comes back with a renewed sense of energy and urgency. I think Fisher has a good impact and quiet impact on the team in terms of J.R. Smith and those guys getting healthy, coming back. I think the system that they're going to employ will be steady enough throughout the season. And I do think everybody coming back healthy gives them an opportunity to make that 7th, 8th spot. I think the Knicks are going to surprise people this year.
Where will Phil Jackson's impact be most noticeable on that team?
When we first met Phil, I think we went 3-9.
It took a minute, yeah.
Took a minute, and then we just had an all-out meeting and said, okay, we're going to embrace it. Once we embraced it, then we became.
Who was the we? Was it you?
Yeah, it was me. Well, no, not me.
He wasn't going to talk with him. Now he was in your group. You don't agree with me?
Who did?
Was it not you?
Glenn Rice? Was it Kobe?
It was Big Shot Bob.
Hey, to your point, New York will make some. They'll make some noise. They definitely will.
What you mean noise?
They'll make some noise.
What that mean?
They could go either way. It's kind of like what Shaq says. You agree with me? Don't agree with both. I agree with both. They're going to make noise. We'll be talking about them because the expectations.
Are they a
shift.
playoff team?
Yes, they're a playoff team. I think Miami. You have them really high. You think they can still go back? I think they slide, and I think they slide potentially. To your point, Shaq. Potentially out of the playoffs.
Wow.
And the reason I go there is that the mileage is still on their 2 best players. The mileage on Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade is high in the last 4 years. They've gone to the NBA Finals the last 4 years in a row. Dwayne Wade has played at least 20 games less each year.
I actually think they're going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. I think the Dwayne Wade thing is whether they finish in the top 4 or 6 or 7 or 8. Because if he misses 25, 30 games, they're 6 to 7 seed, in my opinion.
I think Bosh gets back to what he was, maybe not numbers-wise, but back in the post area when he was in Toronto. To me,
He's been down there in a while.
I know, it's been because
he weighs about as much as you do, Reggie.
To Coach's point, what they did that second year with Spoelstra when they changed the offense, they made Chris Bosh a stretch 4 because they wanted to open it up for LeBron and Dwayne and to drive and to kick to Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Chalmers, Bosh to make threes. You saw when Dwayne Wade was hurt, when it was really just LeBron and Chris Bosh.
That's 2 big guys, though, LeBron and Chris Bosh. Dwayne goes down this year as Chris Bosh.
But I think Luol Deng is going to play better than what people expect. Pat Riley has a plan. You guys know better than anyone.
All-star. Yeah. It's not like he's more than serviceable.
Right.
He's a piece that over the last 3 years that people were saying that could help someone else or help them get to a championship.
What happened in Cleveland?
Well, What do you mean?
When he made the transition to Cleveland, just
it's like when
Bad
you're on a
team.
ship that's sinking and you're the only one who knows how to swim, you just start swimming.
okay. So
But I do think LeBron leaving, one thing that we miss in LeBron is that him leaving, Miami loses, in my opinion, the best defender in the game.
No question.
You know, because we always talk about his offense, but the things that he
Covered
brought
up
to
a
them,
lot of sins.
Those touchdown
defensively.
passes, they can't even play as fast without
Yeah.
LeBron. He was the four-man. LeBron, name another team, maybe Westbrook, where the point guard gets it and pushes it up. And I thought that was unique about that team. Both of those guys, I think it's going to be a big drop-off. I'm more with you. I don't really see them making the playoffs because now the best defender can check Bosh. And then one more point about the triangle. I thought the best thing about the triangle was that it put people on a leash. Like, you know, Chuck, say you played and the guy was going crazy. You're like, why is my teammate doing this? He knows this is not his game or something like that. When we played you guys, it was always perfection, center opposite, this, that, and no one could just go crazy on their own. And I think that that's actually going to help New York, who has a problem with a bunch of guys going one-on-one crazy. And if they can actually just get shots in good places, you know, your offense is your defense, and I think New York is going to be better.
A friend of mine, Quinn Buckner, ran the triangle in Dallas.
Who'd he
It
run it
worked.
with?
It was a square. But my point is about the players. And listen, these guys are all good players. I want to make that clear. But Carmelo, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith,
Amari Stoudemire.
Hardaway Jr.
If you've been in the NBA for 8, 9, 10 years, I don't think you're going to change. And those guys ain't going to be moving without the ball, going here, walking, going through the path, running through there. I just think at some point you are the player you are. And I think it's going to be very difficult for those guys in New York to all of a sudden now like, okay, I'm open, but I can't shoot this.
Yeah.
I
I think it's more, Chuck, everything does it. Everything in the triangle seemed like it would work for New York, even with that lineup, until they start losing. Will they abandon it when the stretches and when it gets adversity in the game or difficulty, and you just go, you know what? D-Fish, you're a first-year guy. I'm doing my. That's when it. That's
what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Are they the best team in New York? Because we haven't even touched on Brooklyn. They get Lionel Hollins, who we all feel got robbed in Memphis, who's an excellent coach.
Great coach.
Lopez.
It's all about
Lopez.
health with them.
It's all about Lopez.
If Lopez comes back,
They're not the better. They're not the better.
Darren Williams comes back. He had ankle surgery on both ankles.
And I just read he said he feels 100%.
Are they
first time in
to me, I think they're the best team in New York.
I think it's on
Yeah,
D.
if
Williams.
Lopez and Williams are healthy, then you're correct. Yes.
Then now you have, I mean, to me, no one's really talking about them. They're flying underneath the radar. I think Brooklyn is going to be a scary team.
If Cleveland is a team that we know that didn't make the playoffs in the East last year but will this year, is anybody else out of this group ready to make a move into the top 8? Boston, Detroit, New York? Well, Foxy likes New York getting in there. Orlando, Philly, Milwaukee.
I think Detroit is.
Let me say this, and I was getting
Detroit's got talent.
Ernie, it is, and Isaiah probably knows more because we all pay attention to our own team, our old teams a little bit more. I cannot believe that with all the talent that Detroit have, they don't make the playoffs. And I mean, not even close. I mean, that team, to me, when you look at their team on paper, they should be a top 4 team.
That front line, arguably one of the best front lines with
Yes.
Josh Smith,
Yes.
Greg Monroe, and Andre Drummond. If Stan Van Gundy can't get these guys motivated to play on a nightly basis, because they got the size, they got the rebounding, to me, Brandon Jennings has to reinvent his game.
Yeah.
Josh Smith.
That's true.
Josh Smith.
Yes, but the guy that's going to be facilitating and getting all these great scores and rebounders the ball, Brandon Jennings has to reinvent his game because he's always been a one-on-one type score-first point guard. He has to reinvent his game if the Pistons are going to be in the top 8.
Chuck's point, at this point, is he the player he's going to be?
Well, you got to ask that about
6'7"
D. Williams, too.
Well, I think that's why they
D.
went out.
Williams more is about health, though.
You know what, Chuck? I don't know, because he's always been a hamburger away.
Yeah.
You really want to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always in Utah. And
Like McDonald's, Burger King.
he in shape. He a great player. He's a great player. You know, you get mad for saying this, but you know, he's always been a little bit almost out of shape. And then when he wasn't in Utah attacking like that, and I know it's injuries, but because he was one of my favorite players. I was watching him like, okay, come on, D, let's watch how you go. And I just think for him and Brandon Jennings, it is, like you said, you are that player, but it's great when you get a coach that kind of shows you a little bit of what else you could do and say, hey, just try this out, and hopefully it works so he can keep trying it and don't get frustrated.
Right.
But Brandon has to change his game.
Well, a one-word answer here before we go to break. I don't know if you want to say they come out of the East to go to the finals. Best record in the Eastern Conference in the regular season will belong to
The Cavaliers.
That's 2 words.
What?
The Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers.
Cleveland would work.
Big dummy.
You fell for it.
Auburn education.
Reel him in.
Boy,
Hey.
oh boy.
Come on there, big fella.
My goodness.
Keep it up, Ernie. Right between the eyes.
Cavaliers.
Okay, Rick.
Bulls, I'm going to make pick last year.
One word.
Bulls.
Bulls.
Chicago.
Cavs.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Bulls.
That's something to something. Was it 5-3 or 6-2? Chicago? 6-2 Chicago. All right. Western Conference. Right around the bend here on Open Court.